Hey everybody, welcome back to 10 Minutes with CJ Corin, a vlog about my blog, Writing with God, a blog for the Christian and Christian writer. So today's episode is going to come from the blog episode titled, What is Narnia but Pagan? So this episode is going to be a little bit controversial, as if you couldn't tell by the title, but I've had a lot of conversations with Christians that hold a lot of different Christian beliefs. Some of them just love Chronicles of Narnia and Lord of the Rings, but then they totally despise Harry Potter. Others love Harry Potter. They also love Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia. I've yet to hear somebody who hated Chronicles of Narnia and Lord of the Rings, but I'm sure there are people out there that hate them as Christian movies or Christian books. Now, I do understand why people hate, some Christians hate Harry Potter, right? And we'll get into that later. I'm going to have a whole entire post on that, just like I'm going to have a whole entire post on Lord of the Rings. But today I'm going to focus entirely on the Chronicles of Narnia. Now, I know this post is going to sound like I'm bashing Chronicles of Narnia, which is the furthest from the truth. I actually love the movies. I haven't really read that book. I mean, I read the book like in high school. It was like over 20 years ago, whatever. But whenever I read it, I enjoyed it, and I love the movie. And we're going to focus mainly on the first movie. I'm not going to talk about any of the other movies or books, but just Chronicles of Narnia, right? Or The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. I'm not bashing the book or the movie. I'm bringing to light some things that I find interesting, kind of annoying to me a little bit, but maybe make you think or not, whatever. But a lot of you might disagree with me. Hopefully some of you will agree with me, but if not, that's okay too. So let's get going. So in all of my conversations, I have noticed that one of the main reasons people love Chronicles of Narnia is because it is written by a believer, a Christian, right? And it has a lot of Christian themes in it. Aslan is a depiction of Christ, right? Now, I'm not really that sure if they realize, or maybe they do realize, they just overlook it. But almost everything in the book, with the exception of a few characters, are from mythology, right? Pagan mythology. There's magic. There's a witch in it that uses magic. She's a bad guy. There's minotaurs. There's a faun. There's centaurs. There's griffins, dryads. What else? A phoenix, dwarfs, and there's much more. There's a plethora of evil characters like orcs and stuff that gather at Aslan's death. Right? There's a whole bunch of creatures during the battles that all from mythology. They even have Santa Claus, and I know a few people who've mentioned to me that they will not teach their kids about Santa Claus not because it's fake, but because it is a pagan view or a pagan character, however you want to say it. But it's not because it's fake, but it's because it's pagan. Now, I know that's few and far between. Even in the Christian realm, that's few and far between. Now, we Christians might say, hey, he is a mythological character, but he's based on this guy. It's just fun, right? Now, with that said, all but around 5 of the characters, I want to say 5, maybe give or take a couple, are pagan. There's the humans, there's there's Aslan, which is a representation of Christ. There's a few talking animals, but other than that, everything else is taken from pagan mythology. We believers, if we truly believe pagan mythology to be evil or bad, then shouldn't we hate Chronicles of Narnia? But for most of us, we don't. I, for one, love it. But why is this? Why don't we hate it when it's almost entirely pagan? Here's what I think the answer is. It was written by a Christian author and it has a Christian message. But I would even dare to say that Harry Potter has a Christian message. I would even dare to say in a couple aspects it has an even better Christian message than Chronicles of Narnia. Here's what I wonder a lot about this whole idea of, hating Harry Potter but loving Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia, because Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia were written by a Christian. Harry Potter was not, right? But I wonder if we took the authors out, or even swapped the author, right, from Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Chronicles of Narnia and Harry Potter authors. We swapped them. I wonder if we would still hold Chronicles of Narnia so reverent still, right? Or would we just throw Chronicles of Narnia into a pile of non-Christian books, right? I think a lot of Christians would. So what makes a book with such blatant and outright paganism acceptable or unacceptable? Narnia is a great book / movie, but what frustrates me about the Chronicles of Narnia is we Christians ignore the obvious paganism all because it was written by a believer. I argue, personally, that Harry Potter is just as Christian as Lord of the Rings or Chronicles of Narnia. At least the first book, Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I personally think that you can preach Christ better through Harry Potter than you can Chronicles of Narnia. And that's my opinion, and I will have a post about that coming up in the future. That's pretty much it, and thanks a lot for watching.